So let's revisit where we left off yesterday. We had just added Bootstrap to one of our web pages. So let's continue demoing that portion. Let's see. We had applied it to our login page, right? And we had applied it to a form. We had added login and whatnot. There was another one here that we were working on, the admin page, that looked pretty abysmal. So let's see if we can pretty this up a little bit. So if we go to the template here for the admin, we could do a couple of things. Well, first of all, let's remove these styling clues, right? We should be using CSS as opposed to using HTML to lay this out or make it change its appearance. So instead, we're going to be using some of the Bootstrap libraries. So let's refresh here. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Let's improve this a little bit by bringing the same Bootstrap library. Let's see. First of all, notice that I'm being lazy here. I'm not following proper HTML. All HTML documents should start with an HTML tag, right? And let's see. And then after the HTML tag, we should have a head. And after the head, we should have a body. And okay, now we have a proper HTML document. Right? In the head, typically you put stuff that is meta information, who the author is, the title of this particular page, any other resources that this document might depend on. For instance, like the this link would be appropriate to put here, right? Because this document depends on that document, right? Just having done that, if we go back and refresh, notice that this already starts to look a little prettier. It's using a different font. Let's see if we can improve that. We're going to wrap this whole thing. Let's wrap this whole thing with a container class. Well, what this does is that it adds a couple of wrapping around it, and it puts a little bit too much margin around. So let's actually no, the right size. This is 100%. That's what it looks like. So it adds some margin around it. We could use instead the fluid version of this, container fluid. If we refresh, notice that it doesn't add so much margin around it, right? But it has a slight margin just around so that it's not flush with the page. All right, so this doesn't look that much better. Let's add a couple more styling clues here. There's a for the table. There is a Bootstrap table class that we can apply. Right. If we refresh, notice that it's already looking much prettier. Right. It makes it already width 100%. Take up the entire width of the page, and it puts some lines in between each one of the rows. All right, so this looks markedly better. And we had already used a form control, right, on the input fields yesterday for the login page. Yes, we can do the same thing here for every single input field. We can apply that class, and what is the form control? And we can apply that to each one of these. And there we go. And if we refresh, let's see what we get. There we go. So notice that they already pretty much have the same. They have rounded corners. They have a little bit more polished look and feel. And same thing for the faculty and the date of birth. We can apply it to that as well. Here's our select. Let's apply the styling to that and the input field over here. So let's apply to that. So if we refresh, there we go. So we have the role also. It's looking prettier, and the date of birth. And what about those buttons, those ugly buttons? So let's go fix those buttons. So here are the buttons, and we can apply some of the class that we applied yesterday, just BTN. Yeah, remember that? So let's apply class BTN. So already, it's using the correct font. It's using some default color. We can use the default color. Default. The default color is just oh, they changed it. It's not gray. Actually, no. Let's apply something else here. So update. Maybe we'll do a success. There we go. Success. For create, let's apply another color. We'll use maybe primary. All right, so we have blue and green to work on that. What about Alice here that we can delete or edit? For deletes, maybe what we can do is if there's something that you have to be careful about, so maybe we'll use danger for the styling, right? And so it's red. Red is danger, right? And then you have for edit, we might use another styling, and maybe info. I think info is like a cyan color. Oh, there's also warning, which I believe it's a yellowish color. There we go, right? And we can do the same thing for every single button down here. There we go. So there we go. So starting to look something more presentable. All right. You know, as we go and apply multiple stylings to these pages. Make sense? Everybody okay? All right. Obviously, this is just the tip of the iceberg on what we can do with Bootstrap. We'll revisit and look at some of them more as we go. All right. Let's switch over to using the grid. Since you will be asked to use the grid for the landing page, right? I believe the landing page asks you to create multiple columns, right? That show the name of the course, the author, and whatnot. So let's take a look at those.